Live League Game of the Day. Just Jay versus Chris. Andy versus Andy.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Semi-original guy, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web, bringing you another Live League Game of the Day. Today we are on Nibene. This is a standard matchup with triple base airport and comm tower support. A little bit exposed HQs in the middle, but you know, it is still a little bit difficult in order to get the HQ cap on this map, folks. Now, there is a ton of properties on this map, many lines of defense. You have your standard strong front versus weak front and dynamic here, folks, and the same for this one, strong front, weak front. And this one could go either way, folks. I mean, obviously this side is going to be claiming a comm tower over here and then pushing up north. From there, units can go pretty much any way that they want. They can go down here and capture those properties. They can go over here and start capping the middle. Now, when we're talking about contested properties on this map, pretty much everything in this little section, I would say, is fairly contested. Some of the properties in the middle are kind of contested as well. These ones are definitely, I would say, like these ones right here and these ones right here are fairly contested, but shouldn't really be too bad, folks. Shouldn't be too bad at all. Now we have Just Jay and achris00 as our players today, both playing as Andy. Now, I have been getting pinged in the Advanced Wars by Web Discord a lot lately by just a couple of people, but they're always suggesting games, and this one was suggested by somebody in the Discord, not one of these two players, but they said that this one was a very classy match. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and see what went down in the Live League today. Just super chill, folks, super chill. Now, I don't think it's going to be very easy to see the pink versus orange, but I don't think it's really going to be too much problem. But we're going to change up the blue moon just for the sake of doing it. And on the first few days, folks, you know the deal. It is the standard infantry builds because you got to get the infantry on the field. It is, after all, the #1 priority in Advanced Wars by Web. #2 priority in Advanced Wars by Web is make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Okay. Curious builds already, folks. On day 2, we have a mech. That's an interesting build. So normally I wouldn't condone going mechs this early in the game, as it does take like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It takes like 3 days to even get like into an effective location. I mean, it is fairly good for warding off perhaps the early tank, but early tank can just snipe out the mech either way. Now, if there were more mountains on the map, I would say that maybe a mech build would be okay, because you can get 2 movement over mountains and opposed to the infantry's 1. However, in this case, I don't really see much of a reason to build a mech this early. However, I've been surprised by strange builds like this before. So let's see what happens. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Alright, standard capture chains, folks. That's all that's happening right now. It is Chris's turn. So, not deciding to go for the airport, instead just sending his units up north. Yes, so this is a very standard thing. I just kind of remembered Nibene. I had a couple flashbacks of this map, actually. These towers are actually far more contested than you think they would, because these bases come down here and it can they can be flipped. They can be flipped pretty easily, folks. Center normally has a little bit of combat, but not really too much. It could potentially have a lot of combat depending on, you know, the flow of the battle. But essentially, it's mostly like these two properties here, the comm tower, and like maybe these two split down the line, which are kind of contested. These two right here are also a little bit contested, but I don't know. You know, it's not like, not too bad. However, yes, I am getting a few flashbacks of this map. Now, I remember specifically I played a game or two on this map against like some pretty high level opponents. And yeah, you know, it can go either way. I was just about to say, you know, arty party. Artillery are actually super strong on this map. Now, you may not think so, but they definitely are. Now, artillery in the center of the map are hugely powerful, and in addition to that, the artillery can be used to sit right here and guard your comm tower as well, which is pretty nice. Yeah, if you sit in an artillery right here on this tile, you got that neutral spot, and then 1-2, boom, you can fire on anything right there, which is pretty good, you know. It is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Artillery are pretty strong. I don't know if I would build an artillery this early in the game. I kind of like getting the early tank out, putting pressure on these cities over here, maybe send the tank into the middle, put pressure on these cities. So like I said, I mean, these guys are pretty contested right here. These two and these two should fall to one side or the other, but these guys are contested for sure. So actually, if he plays this right, and if he goes and jumps to this property right here and gets it right away, then he's in a pretty good spot. I mean, obviously, he should go for this capture. I guess Mech's job would probably be to go for the comm tower, I suppose. As weird as that sounds, that's probably what it would do. Of course, this guy could go here and then jump on the comm tower next turn. But either way, comm towers need to be acquired very quickly. The contested properties need to be acquired very quickly. Early tank build. Okay, here we go. Day 6. Day 6 already, folks. And we are carrying on. Just Jay has pushed himself into the center, putting the artillery pretty far forward at the moment, which is not too bad. You know, it's going to be a huge deterrent. It's going to be a huge deterrent. So, I like it. I like the artillery, folks. Chris is like tripling down on the mechs right now, which is kind of strange. It is a little strange. Maybe the plan is to get a T-copter on the field and get those mechs to the front line really quick. That's definitely a possibility. Let's see what Just Jay does. Continues the captures at the moment. Looks like he's going to be about one. Nope. Even properties, 14k. Not going for the comm tower though. So I understand the thought process behind not going for the comm tower at the moment. So essentially what would happen is if this guy does go for the comm tower, he's sitting right there, boom, this guy goes 1, 2, 3, interrupts, and then you don't have a comm tower, and then you start a brawl over here, which is versus an airport and a base. However, Just Jay could put an infantry right here. Possibly. Could have put an infantry right there. I'm not sure if he had the movement for that last turn. Did he have the movement for that? Let's see. I'm curious. No, he goes for the capture. Okay, so that makes sense. Alright, so I probably would still go for that because it is strong side versus weak side, and you would be able to send enough reinforcements to eventually win the comm tower, and the majority of the tanks are over here on this side. So you can be this is primarily, you can naturally assume that more infantry are going to come here. Maybe a tank might come here later, but it's not like an immediate threat. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 infantry at least right now in position to shift over here versus 2 infantry. Maybe 2 more on the way, but pretty good odds. Now, if you did do that, you would have less infantry in the center. Maybe the center might potentially fall, but you know that this property at least is not going to be captured. This one might not be captured too. It really just depends on where you want to put your artillery. You could put your artillery right here and block both of the properties from getting captured. That might make the tank go in the center though too, but if the tank goes in the center, then you just bring one tank into the center too. If this tank goes up and attacks your artillery, well bam, you get first tank shot right there. So, possibilities, folks. Oh, go for the capture. Go for the capture. We're not going for the capture of the comm tower with the mech. That would be huge. I mean, mechs have way more defense and offense than the average infantry as well. So 7 HP infantry going up and attacking the mech, it's not going to do anything. Now, I understand, once again, I understand the thought process behind this. He thinks this tank is going to come in and attack right here, in which he's thinking about getting a mech shot. But unfortunately, this position doesn't really allow for a whole lot of leeway. This tank is going to move right here. You can move the tank back and get the heals, come in with the mech, but then it just gets healed anyways. You have a second tank coming in. Maybe Just Jay might build the battlecopter at that point. Battlecopter coming in would be super strong in this position too. It would actually force Chris to build an anti-air out of this place right here too. Ooh, definitely a lot of possibilities on this one. Alright. Decent placement of the artillery right now too. I'm pretty big fan of that. You know, we're blocking the capture and infantry. We have many infantry on the left hand side here that are going to be in prime position to interrupt this capture as well, which is very nice. Chris has a counter right here to a potential attack right here. Tank moving up is going to be a potential counter as well, but we at least, like Just Jay, he at least has one tile where he can safely attack from for the interrupt. Could go for a second one, but it would be countered. It's got possibilities, got potential. Builds the tank. That's what I'm talking about. All right, 23,000 funds from Chris. 23,000 funds. Brings the tank back. Goes for the capture now. Brings the mech up. Not going to do a whole lot of damage, though. That's the problem, unfortunately. That tank is going to get healed up to 6. So depending on what Chris busts out of this property, he could be in trouble. He needs to at least bust out a tank from this property. If he doesn't, then yes, he will be in some serious trouble, because this guy's going to get healed up to 6. You got an attack right here. This clears the recon, the mech. Should clear the mech, at least. Could interrupt the comm tower, actually, again. No player has actually gotten their comm towers either, which is kind of freaky. Alright, going for the double interrupt in the center. Classy medium tank purchase. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, that's okay. That's okay. I like it. I like the classy medium tank. And it actually covers the tank right here, which is perfect. I'm not really a huge fan of all the mechs. I'm not gonna lie though. Mechs are a little overkill, unfortunately. Could have had like an extra tank on the field at this point, but is what it is. Alright, goes in for the interrupts. Uses the tank to interrupt the comm tower, which is fine actually. Yeah, I don't really mind that too much. You can bring down the second tank. That's a good position for the second tank. Just got to worry about the Classy Boy coming up. Banks up some money, so he's going to get the Classy Boy counter. He's going to get something for sure. This is going to be a pretty decent hit right here from the tank, but 2 tanks coming in. This tank goes in for the attack. He's a goner. And there's enough infantry to wall off that maybe the medium tank might not get an immediate hit once it pushes up here. See what happens, though. Alright, goes in for the attack. It doesn't get the clear. Brings the medium forward. The classiest unit in Advanced Wars by Web. 18k in the bank. Second medium tank. Oh my god. Oh my god. Second medium tank, folks. You love to see it. Yeah, get that tank all the way out of here, folks. Get that tank all the way out of here. Oh, takes it down to 1. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Also, when you're fighting Andy or playing as Andy, folks, it is super thoroughly important to keep your units alive no matter what amount of HP they have, because Andy will just heal them. Just Jay busts out the Soiled Abomination, though, folks. You hate to see it. Double base skips for a Soiled Abomination. Still not going for the comm tower. Chris, once again, has 18k in the bank. What is he going to buy? Getting the free hits with the mediums. Getting the free hits with the classy boys. I probably wouldn't advise doing stuff like this, though. So going up and attacking on artillery. Artillery is still super effective even at 9 HP. And really all this is doing is you're kind of just throwing away an infantry. So an attack like that isn't really worth it. I mean, if you're going to go up and attack, just attack this guy. Yeah. Because this is still kind of, it's still not going to work, unfortunately. But yeah, yeah, wouldn't suggest doing that. But, you know, is what it is. It's done. So Just Jay, actually Chris, I should say, just allowed Just Jay to get the comm tower. There's definitely a possibility of getting the comm tower right now. Now, it will result in a mech hit, but he can move tank right here. He can move 6 HP infantry right here. Boom, captures comm tower, gets the next turn, gets the 110% firepower bonus. Can simply just bring tank away after that too. Now, maybe it might get blocked. Maybe it might get blocked, but you can get the comm tower. Since this tile would be blocked, actually, this tank would attack. If the tank is hit, tank could go 1, 2, 3, hide here. Maybe another tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know. Could definitely be possible. Either way, the important thing is there's a potential to grab the comm tower. That's what I'm trying to say, folks. And it looks like he's going for it. Going for the full surround. Okay. Like I said, tank's got the potential to get away at this point too. So it'll eat the mech hit, but it'll be able to get away. And taking full advantage of those infantry that are out of position over there. So that's great. Gets the clears. Yep, that was a pretty rough turn for old Chris, unfortunately. And Just Jay busts out the classiest unit in Advanced by Web. So attempting to redeem himself for his stenchly purchase earlier with that soiled abomination, but we shall see. We shall see what will happen here, folks. The medium tanks are going in. Now, this is actually a great position for these medium tanks to be in. Now, Just Jay, he could go up and attack with the Neo tank. He's not going to get a clear on one of the classy boys. There is a slight possibility of getting a clear if you use Neo and infantry, I believe. Nope. Doesn't have the firepower bonus for it, folks. So if he goes in, takes a shot, boom, takes a little bit of counter damage. Well, then Chris just uses hyper upgrade. And then clears the Neo with a medium attack and maybe even a mech follow-up. If he attacks from here, which he won't, he'll attack from here if he's going to go for it, but definitely some potential here. But regardless of the fact the Neo tank needs to be cleared upon using the hyper upgrade, if it's not, then it's just going to get hyper upgraded back to 6 and at least take out one of the medium tanks. It'd be a terrible time if that happens. Doesn't go for the attack. Smart. It's actually pretty smart not going for the attack at the moment. Busts out a second classy medium tank. This is okay. You know, they said it was a classy game, folks, and aside from one soiled abomination, it's pretty classy so far. I'm thoroughly enjoying the sheer amount of medium tanks on the field so far. This is a questionable area to place your classy medium tank. Yes, very questionable area indeed. Now, if hyper upgrade is popped, we have ourselves a little bit of a problem. Now, we will be attacking from a shoal, so we're not going to have a lot of defense. But if we do that, it's going to do 71 to 80% damage. That guy's going to get taken down to 3, or potentially 2. Most likely 3. Which wouldn't be too bad. We could counter attacked by 2. You know, it might not be too bad. So the reason why it wouldn't be too bad is it would require a hyper upgrade in order to do this sort of a move. And if he does use hyper upgrade, this guy goes down to 2. Boom, hyper upgrade himself. Gets it back up to 8. And then you have an 8-8 engagement going on over here. Which, in the end, a Chris would probably win. So, you know what? It is a questionable location to put it. But, if you think about it in terms of a bait tactic, this is a pretty good bait tactic right here. It could potentially clear the medium tank. Cool. So, not too shabby. Going full Sand City up north, folks. Ooh. Unfortunately, Chris didn't look at all his units. We still had 1 unit right here that could attack. So, he could have cleared 1 more infantry right before the hyper upgrade, which would have been pretty good. Would have been pretty good. But, either way. Not a huge deal. Not a huge deal indeed. We just threw the game. We threw the game, folks. Oh, that's unfortunate. Alright, let's go back. Okay, so let's take through the thought process here, folks. There is definitely a game-winning move right here. Okay, so is it a game-winning move? It might be a game-winning move. Yeah, because all we would have to do is attack this guy or block him. Alright, so essentially this is, I think this is a game-winning move. It may be, it may not be, but I'm pretty sure it is, so. No, it would be a defender, so swap. And it's the blue defender on the HQ. Then we have an infantry. Even if we use that, we only do 39 to 45% damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not even the medium tank can reach. So essentially, if we decide to go down here and put this infantry right here and capture the headquarters, we get 10 capture from that, which is pretty big. It's definitely pretty big. The max amount of damage that something would be able to do to it would be 39 to 45% damage. Then you pop your hyper upgrade. And yeah, you just heal him back up to full, and you have yourself an HQ there, folks. You have yourself an HQ. Now, the only thing you would really have to do is you would have to injure this guy. There is the possibility of a 2-shot, right? So if this guy moves here, let's see how much damage we would do against this guy right here. So we do a little defender. Can I click the button? If we use hyper upgrade, let's say that he is at 10. Is that a clear? That's a 61 to 69%. So there is a possibility that it'll clear, but it's not guaranteed. But how much damage do we do against this guy right here? We do 44 to 50% damage. There's the potential of taking this guy all the way down to 4. Oh, we could take him down to 4. Well, let's say we take him down to 5. I mean, that makes a little bit more sense. We take him down to 5. Then we sack an infantry into him. Does 10 to 11. That definitely takes him down to 4. He pops the hyper upgrade. And he's back up to 9. And then he pops that. And then you swap it. And you take this. And you take a look at this. And you put this right here. And then you boom. You do that again. You're only doing 35 to 40%. No, we're looking at this guy. 55 to 62%. That is much less odds. Yeah, there's definitely a game-winning turn here, folks. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't go for it. Which is like, you know, it's neither here nor there. It's tough to kind of see these things, especially when you're playing live. It's not like the easiest thing to spot. But definitely an HQ capture potential right there. Like 100%. And, you know, if you folks decide that you want to dispute me on that HQ capture, that is perfectly fine. But I am fairly certain that it's pretty possible. I guess there could be an attack right here. There could be an attack right here. But at a glance, I think it's possible. Either way, maybe it's possible, maybe it's not. But we're not gonna dwell on it because more flipping classy medium tanks are making their way on the field, folks. There's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 classy medium tanks on the field. Doesn't go for the HQ cap again. Or hyper upgrade, which is kind of curious. Okay. I mean, there's not really much point of going for the hyper upgrade. What you really want to do is you want to wait until the medium tanks and the Neo tank start actually doing combat. If you pop your hyper upgrade before that, you're kind of just wasting it, and you're just inviting your opponent to come in, do a bunch of big hits, and just completely obliterate you. Essentially, that's what you're asking for. Now, it's almost at a point now where whoever pops the hyper upgrade second might actually, well, probably be the winner, but I don't know. This is a curious situation too, because there's a normal 2-hit combination on this guy, which would clear it. Oh, and we can clear it with just a medium. Oh, 1, 2 medium tanks clear this medium tank. This Neo tank attacks from the city onto this one. That's a huge hit. That's a massive hit right now. Like, look at that damage right here. That's 75 to 84 popped if potentially using the flippin' hyper upgrade. That's like insane. That's an insane amount of damage. Doesn't go for the attack yet though. I think with the presence that he has, with the presence that Just Jay has over here, like, this medium tank would get taken out. This medium tank would get taken out. There's only one medium tank over here that could have potentially went up and attacked. Like, that would have won this front too, actually, because, like, I mean, no, there's 2 medium tanks. So 2 medium tanks could attack. So you essentially take out, like, almost 2 medium tanks here for the price of, like, 1. This guy would be hyper upgrade, though. I don't know. It's debatable. I think playing it safe is perfectly fine in this situation, though. You don't really want to be caught with your pants down, essentially. Like that. Unfortunately, there goes an Artie. The Artie party is over, folks, as the classy boys are taking over. Another classy medium tank. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's beautiful. It's honestly, it's an honest work of art, folks. I love it. Love to see it. Okay, the medium tanks are going in. It's actually not like a huge amount of damage. We're on a forest. Okay. So that wouldn't have been a natural 2-hit. Unless it is. I don't think it is. Is it? Could be. What's the damage on this now? 48 to 56? Yeah, no, that's not even a natural 2-hit. Because Chris has 2 comm towers at the moment, folks. Just Jay does not even have a comm tower. He's up against 120% firepower medium tanks. Oh my God. Pops the super. Pops the super this early. Holy moly. Alright, let's see. Clears a couple infantry. Attacks the classy boy. Clears the capping infantry. Goes in. Does it get the clear? Gets the clear. The big spanking Neo tank moves in. Plus the other medium tank. Gets the clears. Gets the cover. Not a bad attack. Not a bad attack. And now it's Chris's turn. Pops hyper upgrade right away. Alright, so considering that he's got the firepower bonus right now, I would definitely probably advise going in and taking at least 1 shot with something. before popping the power, because then at least he'll be healed up. But that's a lot of medium tanks. That's a lot of medium tanks. Alright, let's see what happens here. Alright, attacking the infantry. Once again, going for the cap. Going for another cap. Okay, so not too shabby of an attack. Unfortunately, there's 4 medium tanks in position to attack these medium tanks. So this is still going to be a pretty devastating turn for Chris. Yeah, I don't really see any reason not to go up and take those engagements. Definitely fair engagements. Could even bring the Neo tank back, but decides to attack with the Neo tank instead. The Newt Newt Snoot Toot is doing a whole lot of damage over here, folks. Pops the hyper repair, clone Andy style. Actually, a pretty good hyper repair. Not gonna lie. Healed a whole lot of chip damage. Might even keep the Neo tank alive. Nope, because fudge that Neo tank, folks. Get him off of the field. We don't need him. We don't need him around here. Probably would take the I would take this engagement. I think so. You know, why not? Why not take the engagement? You got 120% firepower. This is like more than likely gonna clear. Like 12 to 19%. It's probably gonna clear. I would take that engagement. But busts out another classy boy. So this is actually an interesting scenario now too, because Just Jay has used the power, so now his hyper upgrade is going to cost 75,600, whereas Chris is only going to cost 64,800. So he should actually get the next hyper repair as well, or hyper upgrade. Might even, or could even potentially force this army back. And starting to get some captures in the center here. He may be able to flip this game back in his favor now. However, unfortunately, 20,000 properties to 17, or 20,000 income to 17,000 income is definitely not a great spot to be in, especially when you're playing the classy spam game. We'll need to acquire at least one more property here in order to keep up the classy spam, that's for sure. This J now at 23 units. Going for 2 more infantry clears in the center. Gets a few more clears over on the top left-hand section. Builds a rocket. Oh, no. Oh, no. For those of you that don't know, so rockets tend to get bullied over here on the semi-original guy channel, folks, and we are about to see if that is something that continues. It's very likely that is something that continues. So we'll see. We shall see what happens today. Alright, so infantry clear, mech clear, medium tanks not going in for the push just yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 medium tanks from blue on the field. That is so many flipping medium tanks. So many classy boys. This is like the classiest game I've ever seen. Alright. Going for the attacks up north too, but can't get any of the clears, unfortunately. Just doing a bunch of chip damage. Rocket's in like an okay position. Looks like Rocket is going to be able to lock down the comm tower so that Chris does not lose it, which is pretty good. We don't really want to lose the comm tower. So locking it down is an okay idea. It does protect the medium tanks from other medium tanks also. So not too shabby. But Just Jay going to be able to rush up here with multiple attacks. So many infantry up north now. Clears the cap and infantry. And is going to allow the capture down south to go. Or in the center. So 19 to 19. We're in a pretty decent spot now. Just Jay though. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 medium tanks on the field. That is a lot of medium tanks. Builds the battlecopter now. Okay, so we have We have forsaken the church of the medium. We have forsaken the classy boys. And we have moved to battlecopters. See if it's going to work out for him. So Just Jay, you know, he's become a pretty classy lad. But I cannot forget the fact that when he started, he built the Neo tank, folks. Never forget NeoGate 2025. Alright. There we go. We're busting out the classy boys again. Another classy boy on the field. And, oh my god, this is like the deadliest shift. It's like the deadliest catch. Medium tank edition. They're just floating all over this place. The anti-air, too. Anti-air. Direct counter to the battlecopter. One medium tank down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to go. Okay, this is also not where you ever want to put your rocket, unfortunately. Okay, so we moved the rocket right here, which is fine, but it's not fine at the same time because it doesn't actually cover this medium tank. It covers this medium tank, but this medium tank is the one that's way less likely to be attacked because it's on 3-star terrain. This one is probably going to be attacked. Now, if Just Jay goes in for a full yeet turn also, this tank right here with +1 movement will be able to hit this guy. So unless we block it with another medium tank, there's definitely a possibility that that will happen. If it does happen, it'll be a very bad time. So this is an okay block. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we block it. So good. Still don't like that this one isn't covered. This one's covered. This one's covered. Okay, so I don't know. We covered 2. But this guy right here. I like being 2 squares away from things when I use rockets, which is basically never. But sometimes, you know, sometimes we bust out rockets just in case. Another classy boy on the field. All right, so copter down. Super co-powers once again charged. However, that is a medium tank down. Medium tank down. Comm tower is being held by a single tank with 4 HP though. This is a legendary tank. Alright, day 23, folks. Tie game. But it's not a tie game. It's actually, Chris is ahead by 2. So, properties need to get flipped, and comm towers need to get flipped. That's the only way. Or an HQ cap. That's also a possibility. It looks like Just is gonna get a property and a comm tower, and another property. Ooh. And the Clone Andy theme starts, folks. 29 to 19 units. Unfortunately, at this point, I think that Chris has enough units in order to continue the fight. The medium flood is just too great at this point. Oh, and forsaken. He abandoned the classy boys, busting out the soiled abomination. We have been forsaken. He has forsaken us. More classy boys being built. Day 25. Going for the full surround. Trying his best to hold that property. And to acquire a few more here. Comm power has been acquired. Hyper upgrade. Gets the property. And is now putting threat on the HQ, folks. There's a flood of infantry going to the HQ. And the medium tanks. Oh my god, the medium tanks. The medium tanks. Just Jay is actually doing something super smart here. I don't know if it's necessarily like super smart, but it is pretty smart. Considering that Chris is just going to get hyper upgrade anyways, doesn't even bother wasting the attack on the unit that is capping. Because he's just like, those caps are going to go through anyways. So, and I'm going to get these caps. So if he gets these caps, I just flip these properties right back. And then I just destroy more units. Smart. Very smart. Unfortunately, that is the end for our good friend achris00. Just Jay is the winner today in one of the most classiest games I have seen in Advanced Wars by Web. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of Neo action. It does require a small amount of soap, but just make sure it is some high quality soap, because definitely one of the classiest games that I've seen in Advanced by Web. Congratulations to both players. What a match indeed. A little bit of things I think we can work on along the way, but you know, it's Live League, and we learn as we go, folks, and that's the important thing. Hopefully you all enjoyed that game today. If you did, consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now.